So hello. Well today, what you got on your head, mate? Today I'd like to take a look at this, which is the last car that my dad owned before he died, and well, he loved it, and although it was a little bit tricky for him to drive at that stage in his life because he had terrible heart problems, and well, I think to help him breathe a bit more easily, he used to recline the seats because he was actually 6'4", my old dad, so he could see well over the top of the dashboard, sort of thing. But because he had the because he had the seat reclined, he used to kind of bounce the car off things occasionally, you know, to let his presence be known, I suppose. You know, hello, here I am. Sort of, nice to see you again. Oh, sorry. Sort of, thought I could get through there, old boy. But no, I'm joking, obviously. But no, he did unfortunately sort of put a few scratches and dings on it, and bless my old mum, she was desperately trying to get it all repaired and stuff, and in the end she just gave up, I think. But he only had it, I guess, about 9 months before he died, poor bugger. But there it is, the Series 1 BMW, beautiful car. Years ago I had the 328i M, which was a 6-cylinder inline car, 3.5 litre, call it, and it was really quick, and this was much faster, although it was a 2012 car, of course, and my car was from 1994 or something. This 1.6 engined vehicle could really move, and it was a real mover. It was a real looker as well. It was a lovely car, really beautiful, and I drove it when I went over to help my mum with my dad's cremation. I got to drive it, and it was absolute pocket rocket, you know, unbelievable, really lovely car. In fact, if I had the money, I'd buy one. I really would recommend them. Excuse me. And they're full of really interesting features like emergency call, so you can just press a button, SOS, which is really good for an oldie like my dad was. You know, he was 83 at the time, and they had like a park distance control, so you would beep and camera to view it and things like that. So I don't know how he managed to keep knocking it off other cars, but he did. even with all the technology, he managed to kind of clunk it around a bit. But that was the way that things were. But yeah, a lovely car. Everything's based around this knob in the middle, which kind of operates all the computer and what thing on. It kind of scrolls up and down, and you can press it when you've got to where you want to be. And there was, I mean, obviously my father didn't have the telephone or the navigation system, but he had everything else. And I remember it used to switch off when you got to the traffic lights. The engine used to automatically switch off. And my dad had me fix that. He said, go on the internet and find out how to get rid of it. Because he couldn't stand that idea. He wanted the engine still running. But it is actually makes sense to somebody with economy in mind, you know, to have that feature. I don't know how much this book's going to show of imagery, picture imagery. That was the key. That was lovely. It was a really lovely key. Obviously, the pilot key that you could open and shut the car with, and I think it had a boot you could open up as well. It was very good, very good car. Really lovely vehicle. I liked it a lot. Although it was sold very shortly after, because my mum didn't want a thing like that. She just wanted her old banger that she's got, that she likes, that she's got used to driving over the years. Yeah, you could crumble down the seats, and I think my dad did have the electric seats actually. That it had memory seat memory, so you could set it and then you could program it to sort of remember. So somebody else could get in there and set it and program it for them, and I think 3 people could program it. So in other words, if say your wife or something's been driving and you don't have to sit there fiddling about and adjusting everything. You just press this button and all the mirrors, everything go to where you like them. It's really clever. Really clever. And I think anyway. I'm not used to stuff like that. Obviously not the old bangers I've got to drive around in. Oh, it's crashed out, hasn't it? It's crashed out, it has, the joke. I'm boring everybody senseless, probably. But yeah, this is actually quite a... yeah. Okay, so there were child restraints. There it is, engine start, stopping engine. My dad had the petrol one, auto start stop function. That's what I was talking about before. And yeah, I mean, he had the book, but I found it on the internet, the manual, and I showed him how to get rid of it so he could use it normally. Really, really lovely book. Car, rather. The book's nice as well, actually. It is in good quality. BMW, they certainly know how to entertain their clients, that's a fact, with quality brochures. Yes, that's right. It did have a knock, as I call it, a cock-knocking gear stick. You were kind of manual, but you knocked the gear thing, you know, it was sort of semi-automatic type business. It wasn't a gear stick as you'd know it. You kind of stuck it in. You could have it either in automatic, totally automatic mode, or you could just tap it, like, you know, and yeah, and it changed gear for you. My dad had it in the manual setting. I think there was a lot of going on for him to get his head round, unfortunately, in those days when he was quite ill. And that's why he kept crashing, because he was a brilliant driver in his youth and middle age and even older age. But I remember a friend of mine got a lift with me from a station once with my dad, and by then he was kind of quite ill, you know. And we went past this lorry, and we only got past it by about literally, you know, those feeler gauges they used to test valve settings with. You could have got the finest feeler gauge down between the lorry and the car. We didn't actually make contact, but it was so kind of close that my mate said, he said, you know, that let's put another 10 grey hairs on my head. But yeah, all good memories. All good memories. What we got in here, different displays that you had. Really nice, really lovely car. Highly recommend it if anyone's thinking of buying a BMW current, well, I don't think it's his current model, but that model, you know, 1 Series. Yeah, go for it if you've got the money, because they're lovely cars. The paint is as thick as well, really, really lovely. And they're full of features and really good, you know, driving assistance things. Oh, you've got run flat tyres, I remember. They've got a thing called run flat tyres. So if you get a puncture, you can still drive on it. You can still drive to the garage on the flat tyre. Very clever, that is. And you've got things like forward alert. I think my dad had that on his. I don't really remember, but forward alert will warn you if there's any cars ahead of you, and of course it will automatically brake. I think it does. Your car, because it detects that there's something you're about to collide with. So again, as I say, how my old dad kind of got round all these things, I don't deactivated them probably sort of pouring through this manual, deactivating everything, and that's what happens, you know, when you mess with the modern world. Yeah, dynamic stability control, all these things to help you drive, save your bacon, traction control, variable sport steering, all sorts of brake assist things. Really, really cool, you know, really, really cool. But this video is rattling on a bit now. But yeah, there you go. What's that? What's that all about? Isn't it? Turning. It's just talking about turning circles and things. Oh, there you go. So how to switch it on and off. That's what my old dad would have found, you see. I'm surprised this hasn't got a pen highlight around it. You know, because that's what he was up to. Turning it all off so he could do it manually. But yeah, air conditioning it's got, obviously, because why wouldn't you have that nowadays? Pretty much standard play, isn't it, for most cars, aircon. I have it in my little Twingo even, which is awesome because it's a black car, so it gets very hot in the hot sun, you know, and it does get hot in Poland in the hot sun. So it's got sort of features on driving hints, which give you, you know, all sorts of warnings about what to do. Obviously, my dad missed that section out. You just thought, nah, I won't bother with that. I don't need any help after 60 years of driving, sort of thing. But sadly, as I say, as he got older, he did. Anyway, there you go. That's the review. Lovely car. These are obviously just technical details, technical specs in the back there. That's what the car looks like from a side profile. So it's very elegant, and there's plenty of space. You can put the back seats down. Loads of storage in there. That's again what it looks like, and that's the front end view of it, and the widths and all the rest of it. And it's a sort of medium sized car, although it's a series 1. You know, it is still quite a substantially big car. I mean, certainly a lot bigger than my Renault Twingo per se. But yeah. Anyway, thanks ever so much for watching. I think I'll put Jimmy to sleep. So anybody fancy a peanut? Anyway, what was that thing in Princess Bride? Stop rhyming these things, I mean it. Okay, I will. Does anybody fancy a peanut? I think it was something like that anyway. I'm full of it when it comes to things like that. My memory's shot away now. Jimmy, hello? Hello, Jimmy. You okay, Bobby? Good boy. Thanks ever so much for watching my review of this BMW Series 1 Owner's Brochure Manual Handbook, whatever you want to call it. Top car. Massive thumbs up for that. Cheers.